All right. All right, we're gonna turn this into cut bait. It's got died on us. Oh. Well, if y'all wasn't watching that, that had been awesome. I slipped and I saved it from bird nesting. Good stuff. There we go. Little cut bait. That one, a little cut bait on this one. I did get a hit on this. 10 minutes. Turn that off. All right, here we go. All right, let's see what happens. Midday fishing trip. Oh, snappers, Nolan. I know that guy. We caught a did catch a couple of drum, which is what I'm using for cut bait. I planned on Lachey herring. How you doing? You enjoy a little bit of fishing action. I don't know if you follow me or not, but one of the things I do with the shorts is I do a lot of like bait plate, throw it back in the lake. I've enjoyed doing those videos. I even have a little fishing song in there if you dig around. Oh yeah. Now, let's see, Nolan, I caught a bluegill this morning that I was going to use for bait, and then it started raining, and I went to look at another fishing spot, but the river was up so high that I didn't really like that spot. Where I went last week and caught them hybrid striped bass. So I took care of a couple things and then came back here, and another friend of mine showed up with his kids, and they fished here for a while. And while we were here, I caught a catfish. They caught some white bass down there on the boat dock. But really what I want is a big catfish, even a big gar I'd be pretty happy with. I know we've seen a couple of gar out here. The rivers came up. I think it's receding now, unfortunately. I tend to like to catch it on the come up. I really don't care whether the river's coming up or down. I'm more concerned with, as long as the fish are biting, especially if they're biting what I'm using. That's like the most important part. Oh, Zachary, my cousin's on there. Oh, that's my old school fishing partner right there. Zachary, I hope you enjoy fishing content. Give me a little follow. We do a fishing contest. Let's see what we got. I don't think we got anybody. It's only showing one. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can line this up just right. I've got a delay on the one phone here, but that's pretty much the gist of it right there. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That try and do some shorts. I try to do some educational videos. The lives are just so easy. I mean, if the fish would bite, it kind of helps the lives. Get a few people on here participating, commenting. That dude, Greenwell Fishing, if you guys are seeing him on there, you need to jump over and give him a follow real quick, because that dude he fishes a different style than I do, and he catches big catfish. If you guys like seeing big catfish be caught, that dude catches big catfish. And real good dude, recovering, and I like people out there trying to live right. That's kind of a big deal. Oh, Zach subscribed. I like that. That's good. I've got, I enjoy fishing. I really enjoy like making the videos, editing the videos. Sometimes it's difficult to have time to do it and to come up with it. And one of the other problems I'll run into is I'll have an idea about doing something, and I'll go out and attempt to record it, and I end up spending like 2 weeks on it, and either I'll lose some of the video, or it just doesn't work. Uh, I really, I've really slacked off on making videos the last couple of years and got more into the shorts and doing the lives. But there's a lot of factors that go into that. I'm not really trying to make excuses. We're just going to keep moving forward. And I like the heck out of this spot. It's just if I can get these dang fish to cooperate. Oh yeah. Well, we got a boat coming this way. I do know I am a firm believer in that barge bite. You get some waves going, stirs these fish up a little bit. I am not necessarily someone who's going to cast my, like as a bank fisherman, I'm not going to cast my rod out, set it in the rod holder, and then just leave it there all day. Like they may just be 3 or 4 feet away from where you casted it. You know, I get that that's works for people, but I tend to try and be more active. So did any of y'all get on there early enough to see me slip whenever I was trying to cast that out? That had to be awesome. I'm glad I didn't bust my head. Oh, there were some comments I wasn't seeing. Wasn't updated. Oh, how do I do the competition thing? Sorry, Zach. I'm trying to keep up, but it doesn't always keep up right. So the competition is any fish uh, caught from December of 2024 to November 30th of 2025, and then that almost immediately I'll put up the voting on my Facebook pages, and then December 13th we'll announce the winners. I have a whole set of rules. Like if you were to email me a picture, you can email me a picture of a picture. I'm getting tripped up because I'm listening to myself talk in my ear. Oh, we got a little action right here. So, take a picture of your fish, preferably a picture of you with the fish. I'll email it to me, send it to me on Facebook Messenger, just about any way that you can get a hold of me. And we do a Fish of the Month contest, and the winner of the Fish of the Month gets a certificate. The winner of, and it's all determined by likes. It's not really fish size. So like having a more creative photo would help, or a bigger fish would help. But the biggest fish doesn't always win. I probably didn't explain nothing. Oh, it only says 16 people. Last year we had 33 33 entries from 7 different states. At least 3 fish were caught out of the ocean or the Gulf of America. Uh, this year, I don't have any. I don't have any ocean fish yet, but I want to say we're up to like 45 entries. It's really cool, and with the amount of entries we're getting, I expect to do like an adult male fish of the year winner, an adult female fish of the year winner, an overall fish of the year winner. I really expect kids to get the most amount of votes. Uh, so say like my man Nolan gets the most votes. So then I'll do a youth female fish of the year winner, and then Nolan will be like the overall fish of the year winner. And right now I have 3 digital creators who have entered the fish of the year contest. And I believe if I can get that number up to 10, I'm going to do a digital creator fish of the year winner also. Uh, which I'd be pretty excited about that. You know, I enjoy my digital creator community. You know, the guys on YouTube, the guys on Facebook. Uh, I have the one, I'll call him. I have the one buddy that does like a lot of trout fishing down there in Kentucky. And I want to say he said he was like from Virginia or something. Anyway, he goes out and catches a bunch of trout, and then he travels out to a trout farm. Well, I believe it's in Virginia. Yeah, it's definitely in Virginia, because he went out last year and helped this kid catch a real nice rainbow trout, and had it entered into my fish of the year contest. I thought that was pretty cool. Bowen was the kid's name. Uh, I was shocked. I really thought that kid would win the fish of the year. I told Deborah that if he won it, we were going to travel out there and give him the trophy. We have a little trophy we give away. Like if you've seen that. Don't throw that down. Look and see if people saw it. I am learning. I'm not sure the best way to do this. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. Alright. Well, not from 2 months ago. We want the live right now. Live. I don't know what's happening. There we go. I'll get caught up here in a minute. I am using, I caught drum, or some people call them white perch. I'm using that I'm using cutbait on that. Yeah, there's a truck. Somebody's putting in their boat. We have guys working on the bridge. Apparently a pretty big bridge job. They've been out here for months. And I guess they're going to be out here all summer. What some guy said the other day. We take that out so I don't have to listen to myself. That's right, Jason. Here, fishy, fishy. I got a longer version of that song. Man, I like it. I hear it almost every day at work. A couple of them guys, they sure like to remind me. How do you go to the contest? Right, here we go. My latest one. And we got a big barge coming. All we know, fish bite when the barge goes by. I do figure I'll probably be out here in an hour or so. And it's hot. It was really nice earlier all that cloud cover, a little bit of rain. Getting a good hit off of that one right before I started, which had to encourage me to throw that on there. Go ahead and go live. That's right, Nolan. If I ever feel like being funny and doing which I shouldn't say that. If I do the Fish of the Year contest long enough, that I feel like I should do a Hall of Fame, Nolan, I gotta imagine Nolan's gonna be like that. That dude is a 2-time runner-up. Won it overwhelmingly one year. Won multiple Fish of the Month. He went out after winning the Fish of the Year. The year he won the Fish of the Year, the very next year, he went to and done a fishing contest at Lake Luzerne and won a bite. Had a really good time. Although he doesn't love Lake Luzerne. Let's see, the last comment I have on here is how do you enter? So I'm not sure. I'm gonna stand up, look back here on this one to see if maybe I'm missing something. I don't like the looks of that. I think I'm missing stuff. Close. Nope, that looks like my last one. We still have some people on here. We're gonna get a bite eventually. I think it's gonna happen. We're not gonna just get a bite, we're gonna actually catch some fish. Try and keep up with all my stuff here so we're not losing anything. Have a net down here just in case I do get a hold of something, try and help me land it. That spot right there is a pretty steep drop off. When the water is at like the summer pool, we're actually fishing 10 feet, 20 feet down from where I'm at right now. Which that is all, like down there, it's all rocks. Not a spot that I fish a whole lot since I've had my knee surgery. That's right, Nolan. Just email a picture of a fish you caught this year, Zach, to JFB fishofyear@gmail.com, and that'll definitely, yeah. All the voting and stuff is done over on Facebook. I tried to put up a voting video on YouTube a few years ago and they didn't allow comments. So it's difficult for me to actually put it up on YouTube and use the comments on YouTube. So it's just, they didn't like it, and I get it. Also, if you were to go back, Zach, and look at that little flyer, them QR codes I had on there, I don't know if you'd be able to do like a screen grab, but the one QR code is for my Facebook page, the other one is for the email address, and then just email phone there. That'll do it. We also, we give away the trophies for the winners, and then I'll have a gift card for all the winners. If you're local, gift cards for the bait shop that sponsors the contest. That's Big Tails Fishing Tackle. If the person's not local, I'll work with them. I'll get them a gift card, basically. Wherever they want, as long as I can get the gift card, it's not that big a deal on my part. There you go, Chris. Oh, I'm on the Ohio River. It's probably going to get loud. We got this big barge that's going to pass by. that'll stir everything up. And, you know, I was fishing with Jason. Jason will remember this. About one of the only times I went night fishing on the Green River. I didn't fish the Green River much. This thing moving. Anyway, you know, that river is so narrow that when a barge goes by, it just tears up the whole water. You know, it was literally like where we were at. It was bouncing off the bank. So I pretty much get why in that situation a barge going by would ruin the fishing. But here, all it does is stir that stuff up and it gets the whole feeding process started. I'm not going to say we catch one every time a barge goes by, but that's the email address right there. My God, act like you know what you're doing. Even if I don't. I have intentions of doing a random drawing also. So even if you don't catch, you know, a giant fish that you think will win, I do not expect 100 people to enter, although that would be awesome. Like right now, I think, you know, I think we're going to surpass 50, which was the number, you know, with having 33 last year, I was really hoping to get more than 50 this year, and we're really close to 50 right now. So I think we'll get 50. I'm talking about separate entries, because you can enter more than once. I'm not, you know, it's not something, I don't want anybody to like wait to the end of the year to enter. We do the fish of the month contest, and then when it's time for the fish of the year, you know, I'll pick what I think is the best photo, or you can tell me what photo you want me to use. I'm not too, I'm not, you know, I'm easy to work with on all that. I will say, like, whenever you email me the photo, I'll return an email with the full set of rules, which basically just says, you know, I'm using the photo for the Fish of the Year contest. We may give out other awards, you know, something to talk about during the live video, live announcement video. We'll do it from Big Tails Fishing Tackle. If you're in the Tell City area, stop in at Big Tails and, you know, tell them you heard about us on the Jeff Fishing blog. Even if you've been to Big Tails 172 times, stop in and tell them you seen us and you heard about them on the Jeff Fishing blog. Something here. I got this. That's where I think that moved. I gotta help me down there in the comments. Let me know. Fish head I was using earlier, I think there was just small fish on it because like the inside's got all laid out. Nothing big enough to get too excited about. Nothing, no takings on it. Come on now. think I bought it for like $10. Said it was a trolling reel, had an ugly stick fishing rod with it. Anyway, I bought that back, and I want to say about 1996, and it was older then. So this reel's been around for quite a while. Now, it wasn't something I used a lot early on, because for a long time I just didn't take the time to learn how to use a bait caster. And I know a lot of people do not like using it. You know, they don't want to go through the hassle. I'm glad I took the time to learn how to use it. It's a lot like people taking the time to learn how to use a stick, you know, driving a stick, manual transmission. It might be frustrating at first, but once you figure it out, my biggest trick with it right off the bat is I figured out that what I really needed to do was just figure out how to get the bird's nest out. Jason's a brown trout guy. There is such a thing as a brown trout. Man. I need to get with some guys, with you guys to do a little fishing this year. At least one decent trip. That's be a pretty good thing. My John boat, I'm gonna do some work to it over the next few weeks. After I get the floor in it, get the motor and stuff going, I'll be ready to come grab you and take you out to the strip pits or somewhere, Jason. It'll be good enough for me, Jason, and Nolan. Anyway, you do not know how to use a bait caster, Nolan. I am not believing that. A bait caster and a push button are not the same thing. Oh, nice, Zach. I'm going to pull that up and check it out. You guys all right with that? I'm going to step away from these comments for just a minute. Let's see what we got. Let's go, JFB. Nope, that ain't it. Let's try it again. JFB Fish of the Year. Wow, I heard somebody pull up. Oh, man, there you go, Zach Shaw. There's somebody. All I see right now is a picture of an oh yeah, a little Kentucky bass. That'd be alright. So what else we got? Oh, that's better. That's one of them big old drum with the old foot pitcher. We've all done that. I bet that was caught on light tackle too. Heck yeah, I like it. We're getting closer to that 50. I guess they don't want to fish over by somebody sitting here talking to themselves. Probably a good idea on their part. He does good with the bait caster. Nice. Well, maybe he does. I don't know who caught him. I don't think. There we go. I don't think your dad used the bait caster. Might be your grandpa or your brother or something. Jason said hi. All right, well, who said hi? Kim? Oh, time to eat. I got you. Shit, Jason, it's always time to eat. What are you talking about? It's almost time to eat. I'll probably handle that. So Zach, what'd you catch that that big drum on? Nightcrawler, looked like that old bobber right there. Fishing out of a pond or a lake, which I still don't see. All the drum that I've caught have been out of bigger waters. I don't remember catching any of them out of like a small pond or like a strip pit. Not to say that they're not in there. Man, we need a good one right now. Make this stuff interesting. And then birds go by. I ran out of night crawlers catching bait. We had a bunch of little drum and stuff right here. That's what I was catching earlier. Big cat bite. That is what we need, Nolan. It's a big cat bite. Seen that meme going around about the uh-oh, I'm getting a call. I might have to interrupt this for just a minute. Hello? I am still alive. I'm alive, talking, recording, and doing all kinds of stuff. I have probably one video that I might edit ready to go for YouTube next week or two. Doing a live right now. Jason Nolan are on there. Is on there. Another person. I've got like 14 or 15 people watching on there. Stuff like that. Caught some small stuff. Caught one little catfish. I ended up throwing it back. I'm just right here, friend. Eric showed up with his kids. And they fished for a while. And they caught some white bass down there by the rope dock. I think I'm not staying all day. I'm going to give it probably about another hour or one. If I don't get nothing by then, I'm done. I'll be done baking soon enough. Once I finish that last water, I'll be hungry and all that stuff. Jason said he's eating dinner right now, so he's hitting the trigger motion. All right. Love you, babe. I'm just right here in Grandview if you wanted to visit me. All right? All right. That was my honey. I had to answer that call. She may have, you know, I'm looking forward to Saturday also. I need to figure out a time and where we're going to meet up. I'm kind of thinking either Cracker Barrel or the Windy Hollow Biscuit House right there in Owensboro. Both those places are pretty good for breakfast. Or if we wanted to wait, if you guys want to do a little driving, we could go to Old South or whatever that place is called out there by Myers. That place is really good. I like their breakfast quite a bit. But the other two places be more convenient for your mom and dad, I'd say. Just right up 431. All the little bugs. The old big fishes. What we really need. this one just a hair. See what's going on. So bait clicker. Somebody said that was a red flag in a fishing partner. Liver and bait clickers. Bait clickers and bells. They don't like that stuff.
Are you live streaming?
I am.
Am I ruining your live stream?
Game warden's here. I might have to take care of some business real quick.
You don't want to talk to a Chrisney?
Sure am.
All right. Did you get that state record yet?
Well, last week I went out and caught some hybrid stripers.
Yeah.
The biggest one was 18 inches.
Really? Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be a fish of the year.
No.
But I'm going to throw it in there. Maybe nobody else enter.
Well, I'm your competition for the bowfin fish of the year this year.
Have you got one yet?
Not yet.
I haven't got one yet either. When I came out here earlier, I was setting up to record a video, right? And it's gonna be like 5 things to think about before you go fishing, like before you leave the house. I'm gonna figure out the wording on it and work on it a little bit. But the number one thing was have your fishing license.
There you go. There you go.
Like a couple of the other ones was like know the rules. You know what you can use for bait. Know how many hooks you can have.
Right.
Know how many rods you can use. Do you want to see my fishing license again? Or?
I did see it already. You don't have to show it unless you want all your fans to bear witness that you've got it.
No, I think you said you've seen it. That's gonna be
I have.
enough.
I have. I remember talking to you. It was a month ago, I think. So.
I have because I was telling you about my fishing contest, right?
Yeah.
Last month we had 26 entries.
Really?
And we're up to well, as of today, I think like 46. I just
wow,
had somebody
there you
send
go.
one in while I was doing my live stream here, and I think he's going to be 40. He's going to be 47.
Oh, you're a part of this? Are you guys
No,
together?
I don't know that guy yet.
Oh.
I'm actually only 21.
Take that one.
What's your name?
Jeff Roan.
Jeff Rowe? Nice to
Heck
meet
yeah.
you.
We do a little fishing contest with Big Tails Fishing Tackle. Doesn't matter how big or small. Just take a picture of it, send it in. I'll do we do a random drawing. We do a fish of the month. We do a fish of the year. That's like one of them is one of the QR codes there is my Facebook. One of them's the email address. Heck yeah.
And you're a DNR officer?
Yes, sir.
Can I shake your hand?
Yep.
You're Spencer County?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
All right.
I went and checked my pockets. I left my
You don't see that?
that has my.
I did catch catfish earlier and let it go. Like I said, I caught a couple of drum,
No, I don't have to travel.
but they were like this big. It's what I'm using for something. And I'm still waiting on. Oh yeah, I tell you, man, that game warden's pretty cool. The first time I ran into him, I didn't even have my wallet on me. Like I'd lost my wallet. I'd misplaced my wallet earlier that day, but I had my phone and I had my fishing license. Screenshot of my fishing license on my phone. Took a picture of it. He was really cool about everything. I'd seen it. Told him, like I didn't have my ID, but at the time I had a blue check mark on my Facebook page. I had it for years. He wasn't worried about all that. Yeah, seemed like a real reasonable guy. Wasn't just out here trying to mess with me. Uh-oh. Verb Laveska. Sure. Verb, if that's how you pronounce that, I sure hope so. I grew up in Drakesboro, Kentucky with a heavy hillbilly accent. And then lived in Gary, Indiana for a while, so my pronunciation skills are poor at best. The fishing could be better. I would like to be pulling in a 20, 25, 30, 35, 45 pound catfish right now. We just had a barge go by. A lot of times that triggers the fish to bite. I have cut bait on both rods. I was able to catch bait, but as far as like any big catfish goes, nothing right now. The river has been really hit and miss for me this year. I have not had any, you know, I caught one decent catfish early on. And, but after that, like I've lost a couple of decent ones. I've caught one. And, you know, maybe we'll get one while I'm sitting here talking. I've done it before. Let me talk to this guy real quick. I'm not turning nothing off.
I'm sorry.
No, you ain't got to apologize for nothing. This is exactly what I like doing.
Oh.
It takes my, it normally I'm not live streaming, right?
Yeah.
But,
Well,
you know, I do my fishing channels and videos and stuff, and I'm always trying to grow my Fish of the Year contest, and going places where people are at helps that. You know, now it takes away from your time spending catching fish. Do you have a fishing license?
Yes, I do have a fishing license.
Awesome.
That's what I was trying to tell that
Awesome.
guy. I don't have it with me today. I don't know.
Was he able to look it up?
Oh, he didn't look it up, but he's seen that I had my numbers and stuff like that, so he could
Okay.
if he wanted to.
A lot of times, man, you gotta have your fishing license. I mean, he was cool.
He was pretty cool about it.
Not all of them are.
Not all of them are, no.
Not all of them are.
So,
you know.
I mean, I did have my numbers with me, so he could look it up, like your like for trout line.
Oh, okay.
I had that with me, but I don't have my actual license with me today.
I don't do. You know what? I don't do trout lines, so I don't even know what a trout line number is. I thought whenever.
It's more or less like your registration and ID number for your license.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, your customer ID and your registration
Oh, was
number.
you setting a trout line?
I've tried. I've not been very successful with any of that
Okay.
stuff. I'm new to this whole river fishing. I've always went fishing in a pond or somewhere privately owned.
I grew up fishing in small ponds, right? Strip pits specifically, right? Not small ponds, in strip pits.
They
So
were
like
deep.
like the idea of fishing big water was kind of
New
intimidating, right?
and intimidating.
So we'd moved to Gary, Indiana, like between my freshman and sophomore year. Well, we had Lake Michigan right there, and I just almost refused to fish. Like I went with my grandpa a couple times. I went with my uncle one time, and I just didn't have it figured out. And right before I moved back to Kentucky, I'm skipping a big step of time. That's fine though. Right before I moved back to Kentucky, we started fishing the Lake Michigan from the bank, and I just missed the boat. I really should have been fishing Lake Michigan the entire time I was up there, because like one of the problems we run into, and maybe not you, but one of the problems I ran into was like, oh my God, all this water, where do I fish?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I don't have to fish all that water. All I have to do is fish the water that I have available to me right now.
Yep.
Right now, maybe this ain't the best spot today, right? Maybe
Yep.
this ain't ever the best spot. But it's one of those things where you got to start, you just start somewhere.
Yeah.
And then like fishing a spot, this is one of my pieces of advice that I really give. Like if you're not sure, go fish where people are fishing. Right? So you go where people are already fishing, then you can see, oh, catfish rod holder, using cut bait. Hey, what size hook do you use, bud? You know, what kind of, you know, most people are really good about that sort of
So
thing.
just talking to you.
Yeah. Yes, just talking to me. Well, I'm doing two things. I'm talking to you
And your
and people on here.
okay.
You know what I mean? So it's not just
Now, have you heard many stories about this area?
monsters are caught here.
I've heard of a 12-foot long alligator gar caught out of this river, all but maybe a mile away from here.
I personally would have to see I've not seen any alligator gar in here.
I mean,
I'm not saying that they're not here.
yeah.
5 or 6 years ago, let's see, 2020, right around there, I caught a 51-inch gar. right? Indiana has a Fish of the Year contest. I entered into the Fish of the Year contest. A guy that year catches a 56-inch gar and enters it into the Fish of the Year contest, so I lose, right?
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, because before that, every gar that it won was like 42 inches, 40, 42, 41, right? So I really thought I'd had it smashed. I didn't. Now that's not to say that people are catching bigger gar and are not entering it in, you know, because that could very well, you know,
I mean,
that's I'm sure that's the case.
I'm out here fishing for food. I'm not out here
Right.
for no competition
Uh,
or
Right.
conflict or anything like that.
Now I will say, like Indiana, Kentucky, all these states offer those kind of things. I like me personally, like if you catch anything decent, why not take a picture of it with
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it's free to enter. My contest, free to enter, all ages, all species, you know. Now Indiana doesn't offer any prize other than a certificate and a patch. Pretty cool. I've got a couple of them. But yeah, fishing for food. It's a nice spot. You know, familiarize yourself with the rules. And, you know, that's a big
I
thing.
think his boat's gonna get. Oh, he tied it on to the...
No, he knows what he's doing. That's you know, you got to learn how to launch that stuff by yourself. That's definitely the trick. I can see where you'd run.
Well, like I said, I've only went up and fished in really kayaks, a small boat like what he has, but we always...
Oh, river rat line. We're targeting catfish. I have cut bait on here. If a big gar bites, I'm not going to be mad about that. You know, I would just like to catch something with size. I'm not too overly worried about like catching anything to keep today. I would just like to catch big fish pretty much every day. This is for them.
If you catch a big fish, let me know and I'll take it home. After you get a picture of it and stuff, I'll be your witness.
That's right. You know, I've heard that the gar is pretty good.
I've heard about that too. I want to try one.
And my dad had always said that gar and catfish are the same price at the meat market. And I went to the meat market one time, and he is exactly right. Gar and catfish are the same price at the meat market. Now I think, you know, I've watched a few videos on cleaning gar, and if I have two problems. Is sometimes I'll go fishing and I don't have time to clean fish after I'm done fishing, right? Like I have other things in life to take care of.
Just like everybody,
right? And sometimes I go fishing and I have time to clean, you know, like, and I know if I keep fish that day, I'm going to clean them afterwards. So I would like to catch a decent gar and actually be able to at least give it a try. You know, I don't, you know, the meat looks white. I don't know why. The only problem I have with like fish that I keep and try and eat is do they have that Y bone in them? You know, do they have that little split bone that whenever you go to clean them and you go to eat it, it's going to feel like you're eating nothing but bones. And that's like what the little rainbow trouts have, and they're aggravating.
I know you want to stop skinning it right there by the tail fin. Or not at the tail fin, but like the fin right before the tail fin.
Right.
And you want to cut a line right there, but I don't know why. That might be.
That might be it. Well, some of it also, with some of these fish, it also has to do with like breaking blood vessels and that sort of thing. Let's see.
No, I know I've gotten a few good bites.
Y'all get into the camera. All right, I'm gonna step forward here.
No, you're good.
My
I'm sorry.
little here, you can stand over there if you don't want to be on camera. It's just
It don't matter to me.
My little cuz is getting on me.
A couple fish jumped up there.
Yeah, they're here.
They're definitely here. It's just
they're here.
You gotta know which ones. I've seen me and my buddy. We actually went fishing here about a month ago.
Right.
And I seen a sturgeon jump up a little shovel nose.
I do know. Now I've never seen one in this area, but I do know that they're in the river. Oh, here we go. Here we go. shit, bud.
No,
You got it loaded up and everything.
what kind of reels are you using?
Base master reels.
Well, I mean,
This is an old Dawa. I was talking about it earlier. This reel is over 30 years old because it was old whenever I bought it. So it's probably from the 80s.
is it made in Switzerland?
Made in Japan.
Made in Japan? Mine's made in Switzerland.
And the other one I have is catfish from.
Cool.
Switzerland. I should know what that is. What's the name?
I have no idea. I'd have to
Is it
see the
Abu
rod.
Garcia?
I have the rod with me today. I'll go grab it real quick. Maybe. It might be Abu Garcia or whatnot. But,
'Cause I know there's like a famous brand that's made there.
but I appreciate you talking with me anyway.
No problem, man. Give me a follow on one of those. Hit me up. You know, I'll do what I can for you.
There's that little opening right there, a little bit
Yeah.
to your left, and it gives you a real good shot at throwing a bait out there at the eddy right there.
Yeah, I had a guy was out here a few weeks ago and caught a catfish that went about 10 pounds right in there.
Did it have a yellow line hanging out its mouth? It did.
Not when he caught it. It didn't. He put the yellow line in its mouth.
Oh. I run a bright yellow braid. It's a 8-strand braid, but it's good for 130 pounds.
Oh, for your trout line.
Well, I mean, no, I use that for my regular fish line too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I use big gear.
Yeah,
I'm
I
after
gotcha.
the big things.
Yeah, I got you.
So, I'll be right back.
All right. Bite anyway. I don't have this one out very far. If it moves, I'll have to. Next time I move it, I'll have to recast. It is really just. This one, I'd had it casted out quite a ways. Let's see. You might be exaggerating there, Jason. As soon as Kim comments, yes, that's the lucky that's the lucky thing is Kim commenting, yeah, I get a bite. I like it. Actually, the first time I went live on Facebook, first time I went live doing anything was on Facebook. I caught a little flathead catfish. I was out here fishing with my niece's stepbrother. I said, all right, we'll go live, right? So we hit the live button. I start talking, and somebody from work, this girl I work with, she puts on there, "Good luck, Jeff." About time she says that, I'm like, "Oh, thanks, Christy," and then my rod just goes, zzz. And it was a, I want to say a 35-inch flathead. It was really nice. It was cool. I had my cameraman with me today. Yeah, Nolan. Oh, I have 2 more subs. Nice. I like subs. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever get enough traction on YouTube to make any money. I make a little bit on Facebook. So it's nice to be able to make anything. Lord's been good to me. I have to say that. It's not just, it's not just fishing in the channel. It's not just Deborah and good siblings and, good parents, and great cousins, and aunts and uncles and all that, but just everything. It seemed like no matter how much I tried to mess up, I still ended up on the better side of things. Oh yeah. Well, I don't like this. I might have to make sure I might have to give this one a cast. Amen, cuz. Amen. I say it all the time. I work in a steel mill, and you're always in flux at a steel mill. Tariffs and just there's a lot of different things you got to worry about. Layoffs and contracts and all that shit. But the way I feel about it is like, good Lord took care of me this long. I'm sure He'll see me through the rest of the way. If I made it to 50, I'm sure He'll see me through to the end. Whether I know I don't deserve none of it. That is not the case. I hate to even pretend. Let's do this setup a little bit different. Let's give that fish a chance to run off with it. See if that helps. There's a reason I don't like having it set up that way, because if that one gets a big bite, and then this one decides to get a bite, then I lose that problem. You know, I have had it before where I'm catching a really good fish on one, and then the other one just takes off. You know, when they go to bite, when it's feeding time, a lot of times they all decide to shut off. Safe travels to the main warden. Well, Cam, what was for dinner? I see a bunch of soft drinks and bottles on there. I don't know what the baby bottles are for. Yeah, I have a couple bottles of water here. You gotta stay hydrated. That's definitely a big deal. You gotta stay hydrated when you're young. You gotta stay hydrated when you're old. Yeah, only the 2 rods. In Indiana, you're only allowed 3. And I'm in such a small spot that I'll be lucky if I get one on one, I'll be lucky if it doesn't get tangled up in the other. And if I had 3, there's a really good chance that I'd be tangled up. Kid food, hot dogs and mac and cheese. Yeah, only 3. Now in Kentucky, you can use as many rods as you want. But in Indiana, I don't like. Kentucky's just right over there. Like, this is the Ohio River. I live in Indiana. This spot is like a 10-minute drive from my house. It's really close. The spots in Kentucky take longer to get to. You got to go across the bridge and get to your spot longer. But in Kentucky, ooh, right there. Did y'all see a little jump right there? Man, I'm going to throw something out there. I got something I can throw. Let's see if we can catch something for y'all real quick here. Oh yeah, little rattle trap. They're gonna
bass or something.
Oh, something jumped. They're gonna make an appearance. We'll give it a try real quick here. See what we can get. See if I can do it without slipping and busting all my parts. I have to pass further than that. I think for ultralights you need a new line.
Now, do you use those swivel hooks?
Circle hooks?
The swivels that you put right above your hook? They clip onto your hook? No.
I mean, I don't. I don't even know like people. It's not like terrible idea, and I don't know if anybody's using them around here. Not to say, like I said, not to say that that's even a terrible idea. I wouldn't say that.
I mean,
You
you might. Huh?
There's another big one just splashed over there. They splash all over the place, and we have like a big beaver running around here too. A couple of them.
Well, there's one just down the hedgerow, about half a mile down the river.
Oh, did you see one?
Well, I used to work down there at ADM, so And they've been known to be seen down there. And
Yeah, I mean, there's one that lives like right here,
you fish here often?
very often. It's pretty much where I fish other spots some, but this is so close that it's my number one fishing spot.
Gotcha.
And even though like I'm not showing you any great big fish today, doesn't mean that it doesn't produce. It does. It's just the river is. It's the river. It has definitely not been the May and June I expected. I really expected a better May and June than what I have right here. This is crazy.
I had a.
You know what? What you got on? Big piece of hot dog?
Yeah, deer. Deer brat. Yeah.
Oh, shit, deer brat. All right.
Well, I kind of used my head a little bit, and I was like, well, what happens when deer die right there by the river?
Yeah.
And it floods, you know, the deer is going to get swept out
Deer's
to the river.
drowned in the river.
All that other good stuff. So something's got to want to eat it eventually.
I agree.
Just never know.
Oh, what did I do with all my tackle? Tackle's right here. Got pressure. You can use a piece of that cut bait if you like. I like that reel.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, Abu Garcia. That's exactly what that is.
That's an Arbor Garcia.
Yep. Yep, those are nice.
I'm trying to see where it says it. Oh, Arbor Garcia right there.
Yeah. Well, I've always heard it as Abu.
Abu.
Yeah, you can probably look at that on the internet. You're probably surprised. I bet you got a nicer reel than you think you have.
My grandfather gave it to me because he never figured out how to use a bait caster.
Yeah, it's definitely a nicer reel than you think it is.
Oh, he bought it in the 80s.
Yeah, that's
All the old ones are the best ones.
well. Yeah.
You can't go wrong with an old rod.
No.
Well,
no. That reel is better than you think it is. It's definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely. Possibly it may be a higher dollar reel. I could be wrong.
I know he said something about paying like $80 to $100 for the reel.
What all does it say on that reel? I seen the 5500.
It's 5500C and high speed.
Doesn't say rocket on there anywhere, does it?
Rocket.
All right.
Not that I believe.
We'll go with the third rod.
It says made in Sweden.
Just for my man here. Bass fishing is my favorite. Well, I like bass fishing. We'll do 3 just for fun here. Seen a little fish jump right there. We'll probably catch something. Right in there. Something like that.
I always thought crappie and bass tasted the best out of all the fish. Well, they also provide a decent bite too.
If a lot of it just depends on how you prepare them and what it is that you like. You know, a lot of people do not like that fishy taste,
Yeah.
and that's why they like crappie. Because crappie's not going to have a real fishy taste. A lot of times the bass does. Nolan has an Abu Garcia too. Love you, cuz. Thank you for watching. I have some Abu Garcias also. It's an Abu Garcia rod.
The orange one?
No, the one in my hand.
Oh, that one's an Arbor Garcia rod?
Yep.
Nice. Do they make newer reels?
Yeah, they're in business. They're big time.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that, like I said, that reel.
That reel probably what made them back in the day.
Well, not just that, but it's high quality. They're really popular. Oh, Zach, come on now. Fish are out here. They ain't going nowhere. They're just right there in the water.
Now, when you catch a really big, like a really big one,
Right?
I don't know how big you've caught them before, Do you keep the reel and rod straight up in the air when you get one on the hook, or do you try and keep it low so that way it don't break the rod or the reel, the rod, the rod?
It basically, let's see. We're gonna talk about landing big fish. It is a very situational thing. Okay. So there's just no one thing. All right. If it's a big catfish and they go to make a run, okay, you're fishing with deer, sausage, whatever, you're expecting to catch like a catfish or a gar or something, right?
Yeah.
When they go to make a run, I tend to put my rod tip down and let them just let the reel do a lot of the work, right?
Gotcha.
Uh, and then like when they go to slow down, then I'll reel down and I'll pull up. A lot of people, some people don't believe in that method, right? You can, don't. Like I said, it's situational. How big is the fish we're talking?
Well,
Right?
let's just say like an average catfish.
Like if it's an average catfish, you may not have to employ a lot of those techniques. You could just let the rod, you could keep your rod up and then it's fighting against the rod. Uh, I'm thinking back to the last couple of fish. One of the problems I run into here, and it's going to be a problem because of that tree, is you go to reel them in and they just want to go straight to the bank way the hell down there. That really that can be a problem. So some of what you do with your rod is trying to get them to go to the direction you want them to go. So you want to keep them out of trees. If it's like a bass, you're probably not wanting the bass to jump, so you're not keeping your rod tip as high.
Well, bass don't get very heavy either in the Ohio anyway.
Uh,
Oh, I mean they can get big, just
I,
not.
I don't know. They get several pounds. They're not going to be
The biggest bass I've heard of was probably 6, 7 pounds.
that's a big bass.
Yeah.
I mean I don't know where you're from,
I've been born and raised here, but I also
but
my
you
dad lives in New York, and I will fish the that big body of water right above him, right bordering Canada.
uh,
Trying to think what the name of it is.
I know Florida has them 10 pounders or whatever, but
They're also borderline sea fish too.
a lot of it's just situational. You got to the main thing is keeping them out of anything that's going to break you off and keeping tension on them the whole time, because whenever you lose that tension, that's a lot of times that's when the hook comes off, and it takes a harder hook set than a lot of people realize to actually penetrate like the roof of their mouth. That's why a lot of us like to use the circle hooks, because they're designed to actually hook in the side of their mouth. But with the circle hooks, like the hook set's not like that big sweeping hook. It's the line side, like I have it like that, and I would just take them reel down, and the act of reeling would actually set the hook.
See, I've used circle hooks a couple different times.
But haven't had any luck with them.
Not really any luck with circle hooks. I've had more luck with red hooks. Like,
Well, red is a color, not a shape.
well,
And
yeah,
if you're
right.
saying the red hook, I'm assuming you're talking about like a J hook.
A J hook that's painted red, and
Yeah.
then
I'm a big believer in them red hooks too. I got some of them in my tackle box right now. But, uh, let's see. I think them circle hooks work a lot better. I might just gotta hit them way down. Them circle hooks work a lot better if you can have your rod stationary. If you're trying to do that big hook set, sometimes the circle hooks ain't exactly right. See if I can get one. Let's get one right.
I halfway think he's on the phone because he's sat there for almost 15, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
circle hooks are awesome. My dad was the first one that turned me on to them circle hooks. I wasn't so sure about them, but really, whenever Dad was talking about the circle hooks, trying to turn me on to the circle hooks. At that time, I was doing a lot of bass fishing, and even at that, some of the bass fishermen was adapting the circle hooks on like drop shot rigs. You know what a drop shot rig is?
I mean, I kind of do. It's made more for like
It's
penetrating.
It's literally like what I have on here. It's where the sinker's on the bottom and the hook is up on the line. That's and then you tie it a certain way to where the hook stays up and like it stands out. If you've got pressure on it. That's not the way that I have this set up. The way that I have this set up is spit it out, dummy. I have it to where the hook would hang out somewhere like the fish could pick it up and move it around.
What would you call this rig?
Well, without there's a word for it. I think that's not exactly a Sandy Cooper because you got the bobber on it with the sinker, and I would think in this current that sinker is way too small, especially with the cork on it. I would definitely like take the cork off of it, because with the cork off of it, you could at least fish around in trees, right? Even if you don't cast out like a mile, because if you cast out a mile, it's just going to go down the river. But if you just go out in front of them trees, well, that tree is going to break a lot of that current. And, you see there's fish moving around here. You said it yourself, you was out here the other day and seen a river sturgeon just like right here. Right? So it's not like they're not right here. They're not necessarily always way out there. And the thing about the fish that are up here, odds are they're feeding.
And then, do you have a boat by chance?
I have a couple of boats. Yep. I don't use them a lot. They tend to be expensive. You always got to buy something new for them, and there's only so much money to go around.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one. Go ahead, bud. You're fine.
No. My family friend, he used to go out here on the river, and he would fish. If you could see where the game warden is now,
Yeah, I can.
He'd be about maybe right about in the middle of the river, and he would drop a line all the way to the bottom and then just tweak it off the bottom, and he would catch striped bass.
Sure.
Like that, and he said he caught some pretty big sized. Now I've never fished the river like that. But
there's big fish in here. There's just that definitely sounds like a technique that worked for me. I would not say nothing about that.
And he used to go up and make his own jigs and own stuff like that. And I wish I would have had more time with him, but
sure.
At the same sense, he was almost 80 years old. Just this year, he would have turned probably 81.
Oh, that's why.
He just passed away this year.
Sorry to hear that.
Hey, family friend, not family, but I also know his wife, and his wife has dementia, and there for like the past 5 years, she was calling him her son's name, and
we're constantly in flux with dementia. We've known people that's had it in the past, we know people that have it now.
It's a really horrible thing to go through.
Zach, we've had a pretty bad run of tornadoes here in Kentucky. I'm in Indiana, but Kentucky has really got hit hard this year. Last year, the year before, that one, I forget the name of the town, but that one town, I ended up driving past it to do some trout fishing down in the stream, and it just looked like a dang war zone. It was pretty terrible. Hope you guys are staying safe. One of the problems we have in Kentucky with them tornadoes, like, is where everything is hills. If we get one down in the hill, man, it just bounces around to that hill and tears up everything. So bad. some stuff going on. Here we go. It's almost my dinner time. I'm trying to catch one anyway. Or we're going to get hung up in the attempt. Get hung up in the attempt. See if I can do this without busting my head. Oh, I just broke off. Holy cow. Nothing. Well, somebody don't know how to tie hooks. Somebody does not tie knots very well. All right. All right, guys. Oh. Yeah, I'm shocked I'm not getting any bites either. I did have a bite on here. Herb, if you wasn't following along earlier, I do a Fish of the Month, Fish of the Year contest. I'm going to drop the email address right here. So yeah, Fish of the Year, right there is the email address. Any fish that you caught from December to December of 2024 to November 30th, just send it to me in that email address. I tend to prefer like pictures with the fish because it's not so much about the fish as it is the fisherman. A little bit of both. We vote for Fish of the Month. I'm in my Facebook group. We vote for Fish of the Year on both my Facebook pages. I have like my regular page. I have my Jeff Fishing Vlog page. Not quite as big. Facebook monetized me on my regular page, so I run a whole bunch of stuff through there. I have like 46 entries so far this year. Pretty good as far as I can tell. All ages, all species. All I ask is for the fish to be caught within the dates. We give away a little trophy, gift card. We're gonna do at least one random drawing. You know, announce the winner live in December from Big Tails Fishing Tackle out of Tell City, Indiana. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Give me a follow. Hope you like this sort of stuff. I'll do lives from time to time. I do a bunch of shorts, or try and do a bunch of shorts, and I'll put out the longer videos as often as I can think of a decent topic and try and work it out. Sometimes it's a work in progress, man. I'm just out here trying to work 60 hours a week and do a little bit of recording. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, I did say December 2024 to November 30th of 2025. I just seen that comment there. Yeah. Well, and I say December of 2024 because we stopped the voting in November. You know, we stopped the entries in November. So if I can make things complicated, I try and make things complicated. It's awful. Appreciate you guys. See.
Yep, I want to stop streaming. There we go.